Hi friends, welcome back. I am Wicked Crafty Mom, also April, and I am going to show you today how a couple of different ways to coffee dye paper. I keep telling you I'm going to do videos showing how to color paper, so that's what we're going to do today. And if you hear me periodically jingling, it's coffee time. Also, it's a little dry here because where I am is right over the heating vent. So here's what I have that I gathered. I kind of keep all my coffee dyeing stuff together in this wash tub. I actually have realized that I need a second tub to kind of tuck one up under the other one so that I can keep my supplies but also have a place to... This is a really good size for me for coffee dyeing. So I'm gonna get a second tub as soon as I find one, but for some reason they never have them at the Family Dollar that I go to. So this was $1. This was $1. I bought it at the Dollar Tree because I don't need anything that tastes like... I'm not trying to, achieve peak freshness here. Like, I don't care. I don't have to taste it. I don't have to worry about it. So I use the cheap stuff, and it works just fine for me. I saw Amity Bloom said that she tried it once and she was not a fan. That's cool. Not an issue for me. So I have some stencils that I got from the Dollar Tree also. And then I have this dish drying rack, I think is what it is, that I got from my mom. And then I've got this paper on here to catch strips and stuff like that. Because it'll dye it, but it'll also stop it from spreading everywhere. And this is also from the Dollar Tree, this pan. So these are my supplies that I have out. I also have this spoon that was like one of a 20 pack from the Dollar Tree, and this brush also from the Dollar Tree. It's pretty much had it, but I think it'll work for what I need it to work for today. So we're going to do 3 different things, but we're going to start by making coffee. So I have this coffee. This is warm. This is just a little bit of warm water. I just put enough to like cover the bottom and just have a little bit because I know I don't want a big batch. This will probably still dye like a decent amount. Now I just ran out of my last batch of coffee, so I had to get a new one. So typically I buy decaf just because it doesn't matter to me. And because that's one thing decaf's good for. Saving other people. I'm saving people from decaf. Okay, so I'm just going to put some of these crystals in, and then I'm just going to mix it around. The water is a little warm. I've used like lukewarm water and not had a problem. I've used like room temperature water and not had a problem. So I've seen people say, I'm just going to dump some in. I've seen people say, hot water, and they keep their water hot, in a continuous. That's not me. I do not do that. This I do, though. If I can get my electronics cord out of the way. This is just a good way to mix up everything. This is pretty much what I do. I shake it. And it just kind of picks up stuff off the floor. The bottom of the... Oh, my husband talked to me yesterday. He was like, so you got a little excited about dyeing and coloring. Like, you need to be careful. And I'm like, no, what did I get? I got the wall. I dyed the wall behind the stove. So, whatever. Ugh. Sorry, we have a bug, and it's bugging me, man. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do, the first technique we're gonna do is gonna be easier if I still have my coffee left. Now this, I could make it darker. This might dry a little lighter than some, but I think it'll have a nice color. So here's, whoop. One piece of paper. One piece of paper. I know you guys are excited. Okay. The first technique is to just paint. I would use a bigger brush. I have a bunch of them here, but I don't know. I don't want to. Here. Let's see. So you just take a paintbrush and paint the coffee on. Now, because this is on top of these flowery looking holes, they look like flowers to me. I know they're not. I know they're just like air vents or whatever. I just flipped it so that I could, whoops, do this. Okay, so that's one way. It's going to dry these patterns right onto the paper. That's what I was trying to say. So I'm going to put my brush down because I'm done with the brush. Now I've got another. We're just going to dunk it. Yeah, this water isn't even, this water's probably room temperature. I thought it was warmer when I did it. So I just dunked it, flipped it, dunked it again, and now I'm laying it out. And so this is why my back always hurts when I do this, because I'm always like leaned forward over this. Come on, you can do it. Wow, look, I ripped it. I'm always leaning forward over the coffee dye bin. Whoop. Paper down. Paper down. Okay. So I'm just going to dunk these until I'm pretty much running out. I'm going to leave just a little bit in the bottom for the last technique. This is the way I usually do it. I could paint it on. And so like I've made dyes where I don't have a whole lot of the color, that particular color, so I will paint it on then. But coffee, I've got enough that like I can dunk it. I don't need to worry about, you know, using up all the dye when there's not enough left to dunk it in. You can just, you know, you can just brush it on if you need to. But I have been dreading this video, not because, but because I thought it was going to be a big production thing. Like, usually when I dye paper, I dye like a lot of it at one time. And then I dry it all. And I don't dry it in the oven just because, like, I just haven't. But, so I usually let it dry for a while. And then after a while, I take it over and either iron it or use the hairdryer on it to finish the process. Neither of which really allows for like the stencil printing. What I'm afraid, I definitely wouldn't put the stencils in the oven because my stencils are plastic, but I don't think that I would even like hit them with my hairdryer for any amount of time. So I don't want to melt them. I just don't want to risk it. Because I love my stencils. They're super cute. But what I have been doing lately, is I made myself a little fan oven. Where this tray fits perfectly into a scrapbooking or I don't know, a craft cart thing that I have. So I've been taking the tray and sliding it in and then sticking a fan right next to it. And because of the positioning on the shelf that it's on, the fan hits it directly and like just dries it. It's kind of neat. I've got like, I'm calling it my like fan oven. It doesn't get hot, it just dries them. So that's pretty cool. This is still taking, I mean, and I'm not even doing a ton of pages. And yeah, it's going kind of quickly, but like, then I'm going to have to go. It's not, you know, if I'm trying to get them dry for a certain project or whatever, or if they're, like when I do the different color ones, I want them to dry right now so that I can see what they look like. Because what I've been doing a lot is experimenting and trying to see how deep a color I get when I do, you know, this thing or that thing. And what do I need to do to make the color richer and deeper. So I've been doing a lot of experimenting. So that's one thing. So when I'm doing that stuff, I'm like, you need to dry now. I need you to dry right now. So, yeah. I was so frustrated last night trying to film those. I filmed 2 videos last night, or I started to, and one of them I said a naughty word, which doesn't bother me, but like, I figured we don't know each other that well yet. But if you don't mind a little cussing crafting, you let me know. And so, yeah. So I tried to film, so the first time I said a naughty word and behaved myself and quit the taping and started over. And then but the second one, like the camera angle was wrong. And it bothered me that it was wrong. And I was just like, nope, done, going to bed. I am all done now. We are not playing this game. Okay, so at this point, excuse me, I have hiccups. Okay, at this point, taking this paper is actually going to absorb some of the stuff from, look, it's like, excuse me. I'm going to pause it for a second so I can cough. Okay, sorry about that. It's like butter coming out of phyllo dough. Let's see. I'm trying to absorb some of the extra water because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing for this next thing and see the effect. And I'm going to need a dryish piece of paper to do it on. So I'm trying to get through the layers and just use the coffee right now, honestly. Alright, let's see. Because I don't want you to confuse what... I don't know if this is even going to work. Alright. So, yeah, we'll call this good, I guess. So I'm taking this cloth, and it's just a cloth napkin that we've had. And I'm just going to press it on. Now this one I learned from Pam at the Paper Outpost. She just did one where she did this process. And she started out with, you know, mine's going to be weird because it was already wet. And so the ones she started out with were not wet. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's see. I'm going to do... I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's try this. I'm going to put it over on the... let go. Trying to catch my paper here. Let's do it this way. I'm going to do it over here. And it's already getting wet. Because of course it is. Of course it is. Okay. There. So where you're seeing that it's wet, there, it's going to soak through the other side some. And it leaves a neat pattern when you dry it. So I'm going to use up probably the rest of this doing these. Well, maybe. So I'm going to use the rest of the coffee or the rest of the paper. I'm not sure which. So I'm interested to see, because these should be some very faint images, but the thing is, like, maybe I need to do it with stronger coffee, or, you know, so that's what I'm gonna find out from this. Yeah, I'm gonna run out of paper before I run out of this, but I'm excited about it, because if you just crinkle the cloth a new way, you know, then you've got a whole new batch of patterns. And it kind of looks lacy and ethereal when Pam does it. So, So you can layer stencils, like these plastic stencils, right in between the pages, and if you let them air dry, you know, they will keep you'll have like ghost images. It's kind of neat. So, yeah, running out of paper first. I was right. So this cloth was already brown. I didn't like dye it brown by doing this. It just was the first cloth that I saw. Okay, so the next thing, when I run out of paper, watch this. I'll run out of paper quicker. Watch me. So when I'm done this, what I'm going to do is pause the video, and I'm going to go ahead and start drying this stuff with my heat gun after I dump my coffee and clean out the tub. And so I'm going to be doing some errands, and then I'll be back. I was in the middle of working on using my heat gun to dry these, and I wanted to point out I dry them some on one side, and then I flip them, and then I dry them on the other side. So I will be back when I've done that to all these. And I am back. So you may hear my fan in the background because I have stuck my paper in my air oven, and my heat gun's over here. It got a little overexcited today. I forgot the cardinal rule of heat gun is keep thine heat gun moving. So I have a couple spots where I may have toasted it a little bit. But what I wanted to show you is this. These are the papers that I squished the coffee on. They're not very light. I could definitely go darker with, they're not very dark. I could definitely go darker with them. But I also like having just some faint. So this looks like roses to me, kind of. Roses or lace or whatever. So they're all different. They all did kind of different things. And it depends on which side you're looking at too, because they soak through differently. So these just tore because they were half on these parts were on the higher area, and they ripped. Okay, so this is more of that, more of the same. And this is all green because of the cabbage dyeing I did. And then I ended up leaving the cabbage dye. This is from the edge of the pan. So the cabbage dye stuck to the edge of the pan on the embossed area, and then rubbed off onto my paper, but I think it adds some character. It reminds me of like a moss growing on a castle or something. And then I dried 2 that, so remember these are the pattern ones. Then I dried 2 of the ones that are just straight up coffee dipped. And so these have a nice even color on, well, I mean, I don't know about even, but they have a nice, it's light, but it's still antique-y. And so I just use copy paper for these, but you can use, you know, coffee dye, scrapbooking paper, notebook paper. I look around here sometimes and I'm just like, why do I have anything that isn't coffee dyed? I really like the process, but I also really like the way the paper feels afterwards and the way that it crinkles. Listen to the crinkle. And it's got like, it's a different crinkle. Anyway, I'll be over here just crinkling my paper like a crazy person. So now I have some more coffee dyed paper, and then I've got my fan set up over here so it's going to dry the rest of my stuff. I have plenty more ideas on coloring paper, and I will show them in upcoming videos. As always, if you liked what you saw today, please like, subscribe, share. If you'd like to join my group, it is Wicked Crafty Mom on Facebook. And that's pretty much all I got. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.